Meditation will be an important part of your mindfulness work with tinnitus. You can think of meditation as you would think of going to the gym to strengthen your muscles, or going out for a run in order to strengthen your cardio system. What we're doing in all of those situations is taking time out of everyday life to develop a faculty we have, whether it's our ability, our muscles, our cardio system, or our attention. And for this class, I'd like you to shoot for a goal of 20 minutes of what we'll call formal meditation practice every day. And this is, like as I said, going to the gym, taking time out of life to practice a skill. Now, you don't have to do 20 minutes in one setting. You can break it up. You can even break up sessions into, as I talked about, short experiences many times, break up sections into shorter sections with a break. But aiming for 20 minutes each day of formal meditation practice. This will develop those core skills that are going to be vital in using mindfulness to work with your tinnitus. But that's only going to take up a fraction of your day. And what we want to begin to develop is mindfulness, not just when we're sitting in a chair for 20 minutes a day, but mindfulness in our entire life. So this is going to require that we have not only formal mindfulness practice, but also informal mindfulness practice. And that is where we begin to use and develop those same core skills in everyday life, in addition to developing them when we're sitting down and meditating. So in order to do this, as I said, we will be setting time aside in everyday life to work with these informal practices. It's important to keep in mind that the opposite of mindfulness is not mindlessness. It's actually a state we refer to as automatic pilot. Now, in automatic pilot, we're just drifting through a part of a day without even noticing what we're actually doing in the present moment. And this can happen when you're in the shower and you don't even remember whether you've washed your hair, or driving and realize you've gone blocks or maybe miles without any awareness of your environment. So informal mindfulness practices are about waking up to the present moment, bringing the same sort of awareness we bring when we're sitting down and formally meditating into our everyday life, in order, again, to develop those same skills of concentration, observation, relaxation, and equanimity that we develop in formal meditation. So we'll be using a variety of practices, and we're going to start developing informal mindfulness with a very simple practice called pausing in awareness, or mindful pause. And all this is taking time out of your day to stop what you're doing, whatever habitual activity you're doing, and take a couple minutes to become aware of what you're thinking, what you're feeling physically, and what you're feeling emotionally. Right? So it's checking in with yourselves, becoming mindful consciously several times throughout the day. And this will be our informal mindfulness practice for this week. And the best way to carry this out is to either pick several times during the day, or have the alarm go off at preset times when you have a chance to practice. And all we do is the alarm or the time comes up, and we stop what we're doing, and we begin by noticing our thoughts and our emotions. Just notice briefly what's there, how you're feeling, what you're thinking, and then let that go and come back and focus on what your senses are experiencing, what you're seeing, what you're smelling, what you're touching, what you're tasting, what you're hearing. Just let yourself and your attention focus on your sense experience of the moment, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Just pause and notice. Now, what will happen is actually a lot of the same processes that happen in formal meditation. Although you try to focus your attention on your sense experience in the present moment when you're taking your mindful pause, your attention will wander off. And you will notice, and then you'll bring it back to whatever experience you're engaged in. And it's actually a little easier to engage in this informal practice than the formal practice, because there's usually a lot more going on in your environment than is in, say, your basic formal meditation. All you really have to work with is your breath or some other sense experience. So that's your informal practice, 3 or 4 times a day, to pause in awareness, notice thoughts, emotions, let them go, and ground yourself in your sense experiences, noticing what's available to your senses, coming back when your attention wanders off, and just letting the attention become aware in the present moment. And we want to add one practice to start to use this awareness with our tinnitus, and have yourself use at least one time a day to mindfully pause with your tinnitus. And here I'm going to ask you to, not only become aware of what you're thinking and what you're feeling, but to write it down, because we're going to be working with it in the next section. Write down what you're thinking when you pause with tinnitus, what you are emotionally feeling, and then what are your physical sensations. So this is using the pause to deal with your tinnitus, and it doesn't have to be as long as the other pauses in awareness, just enough so you have a sense of what you're thinking, what your emotions are, and what you are physically feeling at the time. So that will be another of your informal mindfulness practices. So good luck on your work. See you next time.